And so while some families are contending with natural disasters, authorities are appealing to motorists who can do something about their behavior to be vigilant as they take to the roads. We come to Gauteng and speak to Nqobile Madlala, who is standing by to tell us about the scourge. Also, Nqobile Madlala, where the police are trying to bring to light the issue of roads being spiked and therefore motorists falling prey to criminals.
Yes, and in fact we have moved from the traffic roadblock that they had, which they were looking into quite deeply. In fact, they were even talking about the drunken driving being one of the issues that they were highlighting, that people must be safe on the road. And safety, of course, comes in all forms, and that includes some of the scourges of the crimes that are taking place on the roads. And part of that is that also they found that cables were being transported on the same road that they were doing roadblock on, which was found to also be used illegally in taking that illegal electricity into some of the informal settlements which they are visiting today. Now, we are in one of the former informal settlements that have been eyed, or rather identified as an area, a problem area. And Provincial Commissioner, we've traveled to various areas so far, and when we started talking, you said over 900 people have been arrested. The question is, what are the numbers saying now that the operation is almost done?
Thank you very much for the opportunity once more. The undocumented person, we have managed to arrest 83. The number went up. And the good thing is that also 2 individuals who were found to be employing undocumented persons were arrested. So over and above that 83, we have 2 more. And from the 2 shebins which were closed earlier on in the morning, now the number went up to 5, and alcohol was removed from that particular space. And we are also grateful that the drugs, well, it has increased from 1 to 2. And the additional vehicle, which was found to be stolen in Odendalsres, was discovered or recovered in that roadblock. So we are happy, at least the owner will know that this vehicle has been recovered. But earlier on, 5 additional vehicles which we have found that the VIN numbers and the engine numbers were tampered with were also impounded in that particular space for further investigation. So we are happy with what we have achieved thus far.
Provincial Commissioner, this is the time when a lot of people leave the city of gold to various areas. One would think it's the time when there's not much crime. Is that so?
No, that's not the case. They used to leave the province, and you find that it is quite in Gauteng. But when you check the numbers of the people, especially during the night, you see that we still have a lot of people here. And it's all because of the influx of people. Those who are documented and undocumented, you know, their point of entry in South Africa is Gauteng. They come to Gauteng. The places of entertainment, you find them in Johannesburg. So they come here, and we are forever busy. And sadly, we have also seen the numbers of the assault cases also going up. It clearly talks to people who cannot resolve their conflict in an amicable manner. It talks about the people who can't enjoy themselves in a responsible manner, and it's a worry for us. But the biggest concern is the robbery aggravating. The CIT, the robberies of businesses, it's also going up. Robberies, house robberies, the burglaries, it's also going up. So you could see that those who are breaking into people's houses, they take a chance. If they don't see any movement, they broke into it. If there's nobody in there, it's okay, it's a house breaking. But should they find somebody there, then it becomes the house robbery. And house robbery can go with additional charges, whether assaulting the people inside there, rape, attempted murder, and all those other things. So you find that in one incident you generate a lot of cases. So, but we are trying our level best to can cover all the grounds, to be all over, and to remove a lot of people, especially criminals, from the streets of Gauteng, hoping that when we are in the crossover operation, then we know that it is quiet here in this province. And we are happy with those 969 who are arrested. They will only see the magistrate next year.
And whilst we're talking about those that are arrested, there's always a concern, of course. These are known and unknown criminals that are coming to the fore. But what happens to them then? Do you get to see it through that they finish and they actually end up in jail?
Yes, definitely, and we closely monitor that. For example, when we are done with this operation, the deputy responsible for crime detection, he must ensure that all those people who were arrested, they are being charged and he can give us the proof in the system to say that all of them, they are now in the system charged and they are ready to can go and appear before court. After their first appearance in court, you must also come back to us and tell us how many were released in bail and how many are still remaining behind bars. But when we look at the numbers, we are pleased to say that majority of them, they remain behind bars. The courts are also no longer so friendly with them, and something which we think that it's a plus point for us.
And you're also finding undocumented persons. That's also a case in most of your operations. You find these undocumented persons. Would you say the number's gone up, or is it going down in any case?
Hey, the undocumented person, I can tell you, every time we operate, you find big numbers. Look at the number we got just here in Akasia. It's just one policing precinct. Think about Mamelodi, Soshanguve, Winterfeld, and all over. They are still there. They are roaming the streets. There are many. And but what we are trying to do is that once we arrested them, two processes. Firstly, the Home Affairs, they must ensure, they must confirm that these people, they are illegal in the country. That's one. The second one is the processing center which we have established, whereby the forensic, the criminal records center officials, they also come, take their fingerprints, buccal sample, and then they run them through our systems to can check whether their DNA is not in our database, DNA database, they are not being looked for, whatever crime which they've committed previously and so forth. And once they've cleared, they went through all the systems and we find that these ones, they're just the mere undocumented person. Then we allow Home Affairs to can take them to their countries of origin. And what Home Affairs does is that, especially the people from the SADC region, within 48 hours, once they have been cleared with all these systems, then they have been taken through. And then those ones who are outside the SADC region, they have been taken to the court process, and then we have a deportation order, and then they are taken back to their country of origin.
And where we are, you've just found a body of a human being, a body of a person here who had passed away. We found that the residents here, of course, were complaining that there was a situation where they've been calling for an ambulance, they've been calling for EMS to come, and they're not finding those people to be coming to assist. How, as the police then, what's your role in this? How do you help residents in this case?
Yeah, I also share their concern. It is not right to sit with a dead body next to you for such a long time. We as the police, we also have a role to can come to certify ourselves that this person died from natural causes or there's no foul play suspected. We need to come, we need to call emergency services so that they can declare the person to be dead. And then thereafter, we need to get our photographers and so forth so that we cover all the grounds. For now, we don't know what are the real causes of death, so we'll open a case of inquest to can check what are the real reasons, the cause of death. And then should we establish that there is a foul play or the postmortem is being conducted, we find that this person was killed also for whatever reasons, then it will be changed to murder. But the issue of environmental design, it's a concern for us. For example, you can see that lonely shack. There's no shack number, there's no street name. All what we know is that we are in the middle of an area called Dikolobeng. Dikolobeng, where in Dikolobeng, even if you can Google now, you want to check Dikolobeng, you won't find Dikolobeng. So it means you need to have somebody stationed in that particular crime scene and give you direction to say, follow this direction, follow this road, you'll find me here. Or either you agree amongst yourselves that you meet somewhere and then you come here. So this thing of environmental design, if we don't take care of it, it affects the response time of all the emergency services, not only the police.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is the Provincial Commissioner. We are, of course, in Pretoria, and in this area they've found a dead body in one of the shacks here, Dudu, and that's what he's referring to, that one of the major issues is that in an environmental design it becomes very difficult for the police to get to these areas because they don't actually know the address. But the community here was just worried that they've been calling for EMS and EMS didn't get here on time. But over 900 people have been arrested, according to the Provincial Commissioner.
Nqobile Madlala, thank you very much for that report.